Hey everybody, and welcome to episode 7 of Project FIREBIRD ZL1. As you can see from the car here, there's no roof. It's all been removed. A lot of work here, so I apologize for this episode taking so long, but it is a lot of work. It's a lot of work removing and drilling out all the spot welds, removing those, and then also back here, figuring out where the quarter panel is going to be cut, because it's not just the outer skin, it's also the inside. So yeah, so why don't you stick around, watch this episode, let me know what you think in the comments. But yeah, there's a lot of work on this one, but we're making progress, because like I said, there's no roof, there's no parts car right here anymore. So got the parts car, the bottom half, and the roof are getting ready to go together, and that'll be episode 8. So stick around, hope you enjoy episode 7. All right, so finally got this out. A lot of spot welds had to drill out here. This is tucked underneath here, so we bent this up, which we don't need to worry about because we're not going to use that. We're going to use what's on the parts car. So in here, this isn't perfect shape, but it's okay enough. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to fix this bottom part here. I'll see what I can do up. I'm gonna get some sheet metal and cut it and bend it and spot weld it together on here, because I believe these right here, this and this, are two separate panels. They're just spot welded together. And I'll have to straighten up and clean up a lot of this right here. But this is gonna come on the parts car. So the parts car, you get this in position here. Not set in all the way, but there we go. We're gonna piece it together here. Should be great, huh? There we go. All right, so that's how that'll be on that. So that'll be his engine bay. Okay, so a little figuring out that we had to do here. So this right here and this, we knew that this was kind of one piece. We weren't sure how this went together, because if you look under here, it's hard to see now, but you have these spot welds now. It's like, usually you drill out the spot welds. Like here, you drill out a spot weld, then you can separate the two pieces. We didn't know how to do that down under here. So I was thinking, a student noticed, looked like these two were two different seams. So I was like, huh. So I figured this overlapped this, and this was like a L shape. And the part of this, that's an L shape that goes down, that's what these spot welds are down here. And then this comes over top of it and spot welded in. So that's what's holding this whole thing together right here. So I don't know if that made sense, you followed that, but so we're getting pretty good progress here. So this then, all of this from here, not this, but this over to here will be all one piece. It'll come up, and then this and the roof is where it'll all come together. And again, this right here, yep, I need to fix that. I'm gonna wait until I get the this put on the parts car and then it kind of all together. Then I will cut out this the chunk of this outer skin that needs to be replaced, and the inner structural part here is totally fine. As mentioned before, this is where that's cut, but the final cut will be somewhere in here, and that's the outer skin. And then on the inside, we are going to, you can kind of see the mark down there. Going to follow along down there, then down this, and across, and that's where we're going to then weld the two together. So same thing over there, right in that area, then down. So that whole roof section then will go to onto the parts car, creating one. And this is a little rough right here because using the air hammer, getting that up. It was kind of hard to get apart, even after the spot welds are drilled out. It's really hard to get those two separated. But luckily, this is thin enough gauge metal where that will pound flat very nicely. So that's what we were just doing, getting that all figured out. And that's a huge hurdle right there, a huge roadblock, because, you know, with these things, if you've never put these together or taken them apart as far as seeing where all these panels and seams come together, it's kind of hard to tell sometimes. So now we have that. We should be able to finish separating this, have this kind of pull up, kind of got to have to down here, finish cutting it along here. So that's what will then come up. And then finish cutting the inside back here. Then we should be able to take the lift here. We're going to take the arms, swing them inward, put them inside here, and then lift it up, which shouldn't be too bad because that should be fairly light. So we'll lift the roof up, wheel the rest of this out in the parts car, which is over there. The bottom half, we'll wheel that in, lower it down. So the rest of this video, you should see us separating this, and probably on the parts car separating the similar pieces. And then that'll be the end of this episode. At that point, the next episode after the one you're watching right now will be bringing the two of them together. It's coming together. This part of the process, it takes a long time. It's kind of tedious. So I appreciate you hanging in there and watching it. So, all right, so excuse the mess here, but parts car is definitely getting stripped down here. And so here's what kind of thinking on these. I think I mentioned before, this is where we're going to cut this quarter panel. This is where the quarter panel ends on the parts car coming up. So this will overlap it to begin with. And in case you've wondering if you've never seen this, if you're wondering why, so the quarter panel on the parts car comes up to here. This will overlap it to here. Clamp them together. When we know it's all positioned perfectly, then somewhere between the two, we will cut through the two of them coming across. Then get rid of the excess up top from the parts car, get rid of the excess down here from this roof here, and then the two will be pretty much close to being perfect line and matched up right there. So that leaves on the inside, the inner structural. This is where we're trying to figure out where to kind of marry the two while keeping it structural integrity. So kind of thinking maybe at the base of some of these brackets here, then coming up. The wheel well on the parts car is what we'll use, but I want to use this and all of this on this car, which will then get transferred over to the parts car. So slow process removing all these spot welds, but we're slowly getting there. There's Mark's 85 Firebird. It's getting stripped down. Oh, that was a job. All right, so we got the roof separated and we have to do some repair work. This cowl over here is going to have to be joined up separately. So obviously we're going to fix a lot of this. But on the parts car, so the next thing is we're going to wheel this out. Then we're going to take the parts car over there, wheel it underneath, lower it down. And it's going to take some work at that point. We'll have to do some cutting on the parts car. And then on the parts car, we will take this and kind of join it in over here. And then this will then be laid over top of it and welded in. Obviously, it's all, we have to straighten everything and do all that. So we still got a lot of work here, but wow, that was a big job getting that roof separated semi-properly. So, wow, it's coming together. So it looks like there's a convertible here, and as I mentioned on, I did a post on Facebook and Instagram where it oddly makes me think of Smokey and the Bandit. Remember the cop car there where kind of went under, or was it a semi-trailer and had no top? After taking this off, I can definitely say that it does not come off as easily as what it showed in that movie when it went under the trailer. So yeah, so this is where we're at now. Got the roof separated. The cowl will come off next, and this will get wheeled out. The rust-free bottom chassis will get rolled under, and then we can start to do some body work and get this thing put back together. So exciting stuff here. But yeah. So thanks for watching episode 7 here, Project Firebird ZL1. Made a lot of progress in this episode. Sorry it took so long to get it out, but this is a pretty kind of slow, tedious process right here. So you can see we have the old one rolled out, new one in place here. So now the next thing we're going to end up doing is kind of bringing these two together. The inner quarter panels, the structural pieces on the upper section here, will have to get put down in place, which means those same pieces on the lower half here will have to get cut and removed. So in here, this area, so where this comes down to here, this part down here is going to get removed. Same thing over there. So the two then can come together and it can match up nicely. So I do have some work to do up here. The outer skin on the A-pillar on both sides, and as it comes along over on the cowl, that area is rusty and needs to get replaced. So there's still a lot of work to do here, but it's starting to resemble a car here. So once we get it in place, we get it all tack welded and welded into place. And this is all repaired. And a couple little minor spots for rust. Once that's all done, we'll have a complete rust-free 1985 Firebird. So yeah, so thanks again for watching. I appreciate it. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and share. And we'll see you next time on episode 8.